Good morning. My name is Charles Helom, and we're going to talk about three three reports that I did research on and apply industry reference. We're going to talk about the strength, the weakness, the main idea, and the reference to my organization, which my organization is the Department of Justice. So let's begin. My first paper I read was about Chaperone real-time locking and listening provision for smartphones. So basically, with this, it's another way for us to find a device instead of using Find My Device. So the main idea of the Chaperone app is Chaperone should be able to track your patterns like your motion rate, your possible echoes, and your noise frame that's all around you and basically analyze what you do. So when you do step away from your phone, it'll be able to let you know with a ringtone that you're away from your phone after so many distance. So instead of us using Find Our Device, which I know I use a lot because I know I can basically keep up with my phone sometimes, we can have Chaperone, which it will help us to find our device. Also, with extra feature like Bluetooth connection, it also won't be able to detect if a person is far away if you got your Bluetooth on. So it's kind of hard right there because we know we rely on Bluetooth a lot. But with this app, it'll be able to let us know that, hey, you're far away from your phone, especially if you are in crowded areas or you at a party. So by it detecting your pattern, it be able to know you better than yourself. Some of the strength that I found in this is since most phones have one mic and one speaker, so a solution is to use active automatic sensing. So which that goes back to the knowing your pattern with the noise, the echoes around, and just the way you handle your phone. So it gonna detect everything. Also, it'll be able to detect the pattern capture with your smartphone loss. So say you step away from your phone and you remember you forgot your phone. It'll be able to analyze all that. Another strength and weakness was the lab experience and the real world experience. The lab experience where they tested it out in certain location. Real world experience is where they went to libraries, they went to schools, they went to different places and test this out, which they did have a 93 to a 95% success rate on this app. So the app is being successful right now by it detecting your motion rate, your the noise around, and the echoes. So right now is doing what it's supposed to be doing with this real world experience because we know a lot of times where we're out and about and we put our phones down, we forget. But with this app, it should be able to detect us, have a noise, and we should be able to hear the noise to get back to our phones. And I did find some weakness in this, and the weakness is how is Chaperone supposed to able to inform the user that they're away from a phone? I understand we got noise, but what happens if the noise is so big that we cannot hear the ringtone? So how what is another way that it's supposed to let us know? And also, what about if a user is deaf and hearing impaired? How is this app supposed to help them out? Is real big. So I wonder if they looked into that, especially with the deaf and the hearing impaired. So the reference to the Department of Justice is every day I get a call because I work at the help desk about people losing their phones. So with people losing this phone, the app would actually help us save money because these GFE phones cost a lot of money than what I expect. I asked a coworker how much money does it cost to replace the phone? It costs over thousands of dollars to replace, so that will help us save money. Also, with getting calls every day, especially important calls when we have to call back to a user about a issue they had with maybe their account being locked up, or we had to send the ticket out to the next person to work on this. So by them maybe stepping away and they hear that out there letting them know that they're stepping away from their phone, they can get back to their phone and hear their important phone call that they need so their computer or their issue can get resolved and get fixed. So I think the Chaperone app will be greatly used and greatly appreciated, especially from the government standpoint, because there's a lot of money being saved and money that could be spent on other things. My second topic is a comprehensive quality evasion of security and privacy on the web. So basically, this is talking about the education of the security and privacy. So the main idea was there were studies conducted of security education because there's a lot of information that's out there in the world that we need to know. And from what I got, it was over 1,200 types of information that was out there about security education. And out there, they had three people to go over almost 1,200 information that's out there on the web. On only 480 document was good for advising users to study and use it on a regular day basis. Because we know that we always go to the web to find out new information and we don't know what's good and bad. So we gotta read and see what's out there. So we're glad that it's on the web for us to look at it. Some of the strength that I found that the information that out there on the web for people to research. So it's easy for people to go in and research something basically on security or phishing. So we could go to google.com and do our research on phishing. So that's the good part about it, that it's out there for us to get. Another thing is the information that's out there about security agent, people should know when it's good or what is bad, or is it good or isn't good for us to read, because there's a lot of stuff that's out there in the world that's good or bad for us, because sometimes it could be helpful, sometimes it cannot be helpful. So we need to know when something is or isn't helpful for us to know. I did find a weakness in this, that they mentioned that someone with a high school degree should be able to comprehend the information on security. I disagree with that, just because so many people may not be tech savvy, or they don't use this on everyday basis. So why should they have to learn? And that's a big issue because most people don't want to learn something new, or don't even try to understand the concept. So I got that feeling that anybody with a high school degree, doctoral, or even a master degree won't be able to comprehend, because sometimes they don't deal with this every day. So why should they? So that's the only weakness that I found about this. And the reference to the Department of Justice is that every day at the help desk that we have to learn new information with security, that we gotta know and make sure that we're doing all the right things. And with information being out there on security, we gotta rely back to the users. So by us relying back to the users, they be able to also know what's going on and be able to take it back with them. So if they at home and they see this problem, they know what to do because they already done been through it. Also, we have to read. There's new concepts every day that we read and study in order to for our job to be efficient. Because every day I get something new that I gotta read and know, and sometimes I have to take a class on this, learning class about the new concepts that's out there. So by me learning this, I can be able to not only help my coworkers or users, I can be able to help my family because I'll be able to know, hey, this is what's going on. Let me explain this to you, and this is why this is what it is right now. And every day I find something new, and I probably will put it up on Yellow Day just to let my cohorts know because there's something always new out there that we need to know, especially from the cybersecurity experience. So my last paper, I had to do this because it's a big thing. It's a real big topic, maybe the number one, and that is phishing. But this time it's talking about the continuous latitude measurement of the efficiency of anti-phishing blacklists, which I didn't know that certain websites do have an anti-phishing blacklist that's out there. And the two that I found most important that do have this is PayPal and Google. That was something new that I learned from them. So the main idea was the evolution where they are able to protect from anti-phishing through the anti-phishing ecosystem. So there's a protection that they use through this. Also, identify sophisticated evasion that will help them identify and help address the gap that attackers explore in existing defense. Because that's a big part of the cybersecurity world. Because we see on a regular where the URL will play a factor in this. Most attacks can come from a URL that we don't sometimes people don't look at. And the URL can have a IP address instead of the actual URL address. So that will help. So, and I also found out that even a small failure such as a crawler that can be successful because it can do more harm than what we expect. Because we know something small can grow and get big. So we don't want stuff like that to happen. So we gotta make sure that our defense that we are stopping this and that we could patch it up because the vulnerabilities that could happen to it with something that small. The strength that I found in this is the role of the blacklist, the reporting of the protocols. Because, like I said, it's something like this we could bridge the gap and stop it from making something big than what it is. The certificate of relevance, the mobile blacklist, and the ecosystem change. With the ecosystem change, everything in this world changes and we got to adapt to the changes. So with anything new happen, we got to adapt to it, and that's the big thing. We got to adapt to the change. So we got to have in this ecosystem, we got to change the way we do things. So they have a weakness to it, but the relevance to the Department of Justice is we go through fishing every day. Yes, it's not really a blacklist that's out there, but when it comes to fishing, it could come in different ways. One way is that I noticed that we do have they send test emails out. People send fake information just to see if people would do it, and they could say that their Microsoft password finna expire, or their Apple password finna expire, which we get the heads up maybe the day before because they were going to send it out the next day, the day before, and send a mass email out to everybody and letting them know, hey, your Microsoft password is going to change. What they trying to do is see who going to actually click on the link and try to change the password when they know they can't change the password, their Microsoft password, when they click on the link. They got a certain way how to change their password. But for us, once we get that call, we gotta rely back to them that hey, you need to send this out to this particular team to see if it's good or not. And we do have some people that will click on the link, By them click on the link, it let them know that they had failed this, that this was a phishing exercise to see what you were going to do, in which they have to take a class on phishing. So with this being said, that this happens a lot. And when it comes to phishing, the information that the government have, it can be taken and be used for ransomware. So we got to stay ahead of everything. So thank you. Thank you again. That was my presentation. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think. Thank you very much.